Hello everyone and welcome to Fuzzmaster Games coverage of the Mists of Pandaria talent changes. In each of these videos we will be going over the new talent trees as well as the level 87 talent if applicable. Up in this video we have Paladins. At level 15 you get Speed of Light, Long Arm of the Law, and Pursuit of Justice. Speed of Light, 3.5% of base mana, 1 minute cooldown, and it increases your movement speed by 70% for 8 seconds. Long Arm of the Law, a successful judgment, increases your movement speed by 45% for 3 seconds. And you gain 10% movement speed with Pursuit of Justice at all times, plus an additional 10% movement speed for each current charge of Holy Power up to 3. So you could have up to 40% there. You're going to have successful judgments all the time, so increased 45% speed almost constantly. Leveling Pursuit of Justice, because you're going to need to do a lot of running around. Long Arm of the Law, probably what you need towards the end. So that's what I'm going to go with. Long Arm of the Law once you hit 90, Pursuit of Justice while you are leveling. In the level 30 bracket, we have Fist of Justice, Repentance, and Burden of Guilt. Fist of Justice is on a 30-second cooldown. It has 3.5% of base mana cost and 20-yard range, and it stuns the target for 6 seconds, and it replaces Hammer of Justice. Repentance is 10.5% of base mana, 30-yard range, 1.5-second cast, puts the enemy target in a state of meditation, incapacitating them for up to 1 minute. Any damage taken from sources other than Censure will awaken the target, usable against demons, dragonkin, giants, humanoids, and undead. And Burden of Guilt, your judgment hits fill your target with doubt and remorse, reducing their movement speed by 50% for 12 seconds. If you really like CC, you go with Repentance. All of these are really CC because you got a stun, a lockdown, and the movement speed reducer. Repentance, not so useful in PvP, maybe more so in PvE, but between Burden of Guilt and Fist of Justice, because it would replace Hammer of Justice, keep Hammer of Justice and take Burden of Guilt. In the level 45 bracket, we have Selfless Healer, Eternal Flame, and Sacred Shield. Selfless Healer, your successful judgments reduce the cast time of your next Flash of Light by 50% per stack, and improves its effectiveness by 50% per stack when used to heal others. Stacks up to 2 times. Eternal Flame, 1 Holy Power, 40-yard range, instant, consumes up to 3 Holy Power to place a protective Holy Flame on a friendly target, which heals them for 875 per charge of Holy Power every 3 seconds for 30 seconds. Can only be active on 1 target at a time. And Sacred Shield, 6% of base mana, 40-yard range, instant cast, protects the target with a shield of Holy Light for 30 seconds, which increases the critical chance of your Word of Glory on the target by 30%. The shield also absorbs 4,111 plus 0.366 times per Holy Spell Power damage when the target takes damage, but no more than once every 6 seconds. Can only be active on 1 target at a time. So you got a shield, a heal, and a free, so like you judge twice and then you pop Flash of Light. It's instant and it does double the full heal if it's on another target. So Holy Paladins, it depends on your situation. Do you want to prevent the damage or do you want to heal? Like, do you want to do damage and heal, or do you just want to prevent the damage and then just heal as you're going? I would probably go with Selfless Healer just because I like hitting things. Hitting things is way more fun. At level 60, you get Hand of Purity, Unbreakable Spirit, and Clemency. Hand of Purity costs 7% of base mana, it's 30-yard range, it's on a 1-minute cooldown, and it places a hand on the friendly target, reducing the damage of harmful periodic effects by 70% for 6 seconds. Players may only have 1 hand on them per paladin at any one time. Unbreakable Spirit, when you When your Divine Shield, Divine Protection, or Lay on Hands are on cooldown, spending Holy Power will reduce the remaining cooldown by 1% per Holy Power spent, up to a maximum of 50% reduction. Clemency is on a 5-minute cooldown, and when activated, it immediately finishes the cooldown on your Hand of Freedom, Hand of Protection, Hand of Sacrifice, and Hand of Salvation. Having that on a 5-minute cooldown, it could be a little bit better. Based on what everything else does, I'm probably going to go with Unbreakable Spirit because it helps protect you, and most of my experience comes from being a Paladin. At level 75, you have Holy Avenger, Sanctified Wrath, and Divine Purpose. Holy Avenger is a 2-minute cooldown, and abilities that generate Holy Power will generate 3 charges of Holy Power for the next 20 seconds. Sanctified Wrath, you gain more frequent access to one of your abilities during Avenging Wrath. If you are in Holy, Holy Shock has no cooldown. If you are in Protection, Judgment has no cooldown. And if you are in Retribution, Hammer of Wrath has no cooldown. So, in Retribution, you get down to the percentage you need for Hammer of Wrath, and your Sanctified Wrath, when you have Avenging Wrath up, you can just, you can cast it as many global cooldowns as you can get through Hammer of Wrath, all that damage, constantly. DPS, Sanctified Wrath is definitely going to be the way to go, and the Divine Purpose, abilities that cost Holy Power have a 15% chance to cause the Divine Purpose effect. Divine Purpose, your next Holy Power ability will consume no Holy Power and cast as if it had 3 Holy Power instead. Reds definitely want to go with Sanctified Wrath just because of all that Hammer of Wrath damage. Holy Avenger and Divine Purpose. Holy Avenger, I don't like having cooldowns. I like RNG, so between Holy Avenger and Divine Purpose, I would go with Divine Purpose, but Sanctified Wrath is where I would go just because it's more fun for Red in the first place. And the level 90 bracket, we have Holy Prism, Light's Hammer, and Execution Sentence. Holy Prism, 6% of base mana, 40-yard range, 20-second cooldown, and it sends a beam of light toward the target, turning them into a prism for holy energy. If an enemy is in the prism, they take 2911 to 3557 holy damage and radiate 2183 to 2667 healing to 5 nearby allies within 10 yards. If an ally is in the prism, they are healed for 2911 to 3557 and radiate the 2183 to 2667 holy damage to 5 nearby enemies within 10 yards. Light's Hammer is a 30-yard range, 1-minute cooldown, and you hurl a light-infused hammer into the ground, where it will blast a 10-yard area with holy magic for 16. I don't know what that's trying to tell me. Beta is beta. The hammer deals 819 to 999 damage to all enemies within the area and healing all allies within the area every 2 seconds. Execution Sentence, 40-yard range, 1-minute cooldown. A hammer slowly falls from the sky, causing increasing holy damage to the designated target for the next 10 seconds and culminating in a final burst of damage. If you are using it for healing purposes, it is called Stay of Execution, and if used on friendly targets, the falling hammer heals the target for the next 10 seconds and culminates in a final burst of healing. The holy damage will be great in AoE situations. The Light's Hammer, also good in AoE situations. The Execution Sentence, not so much AoE obviously, because it's only the one target, but how much damage this actually does is what's going to make or break it. If it doesn't do that much damage, then obviously you're going to want something like Light's Hammer or Holy Prism. But if you are in the beta and you know how much damage or healing Execution Sentence is doing, let me know, and then we can have a discussion of sorts in the comments. As for which one I would go with, between Light's Hammer and Holy Prism, based on the fact that I don't know what the numbers are for Execution Sentence, I would probably go, because I like to tank, with Light's Hammer. And then we scroll down here and look at the level 87 talent. It's Blinding Light. It costs 23.4% of base mana. It's on a 3-minute cooldown, and it emits a dazzling light in all directions, blinding enemies within 10 yards, causing them to wander disoriented for 6 seconds. This sounds like that boss ability that we've all seen a million times, where they have the cast bar and you have to watch it, and then as soon as the cast is about to finish, you turn around so you don't get dazed. If the targets aren't looking at you, Blinding Light obviously isn't going to be as useful, but we need to see if it actually works that way. Does it have the same mechanics as the move that the bosses do? Again, like I said, if you are in beta and you know better than I do, please let me know. That is it for our coverage of the Paladin trees. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you like the video, please like it. If you really liked the video, please subscribe to my channel. I thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.